Lately, I've been hearing a lot of information about the new Nintendo 3DS, which is going to be coming out in North America sometime in 2015, and is already released in Japan and Australia. And if you haven't already heard of the new handheld, basically it's coming from Nintendo, and it's an upgraded version of the original Nintendo 3DS with new accessories, such as a C-stick where you have your A, B, X, Y buttons, and then you have your new back buttons. I believe there's Z, R, and ZL next to the L and R triggers on the back. Along with that, it's going to have faster processing speeds. It's going to have enhanced 3D effect. And so basically, when you have your original 3DS, if you move slightly or look at it from a different angle, it's hard to get that effect. And so a lot of people, they look at this and they say, what would be the point of me even upgrading to this new Nintendo 3DS? I already have an original 3DS. I don't necessarily need those new buttons because they don't even seem necessary for games like things that just released, like Super Smash Bros. The only issue with that is Nintendo has said they're going to be releasing exclusive games such as Xenoblade Chronicles and possible exclusives in the future for this brand new system. And this is something that has angered a lot of 3DS owners. It feels like they're getting cheated out of their money. And it makes you wonder if developers for this new Nintendo 3DS or just the 3DS in general, if they're going to just go away from the original 3DS and then move on to this new Nintendo 3DS. And they're going to work with buttons like the C-Stick and ZR, ZL, those buttons like that, which won't be available for the original 3DS, which means that people who have the original 3DS would have to upgrade to the new Nintendo 3DS. In my opinion, this is something that actually interests me because I was never one of those people who bought an original 3DS. For some reason, it never got my attention. I know that there's games on there like Super Mario 3D Land and The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, but for some reason, I haven't necessarily been interested in a dedicated handheld. And my last handheld was actually a DSi, and for some reason I broke the back of it. But anyway, I'm getting kind of off topic. This kind of reminds me of like handhelds from Nintendo, like the Game Boy or the original DS, which had a plethora of upgrades. If you look at the DS, it had the DS, then it had the DS XL, then it had the DSi, like I just stated, and it had a few other upgrades after that. It seems like Nintendo's just working their old business practices again. For some reason, when they come out with handhelds, like you can see the flaws with it, so they wait and then they upgrade the system later on so that they can like make more money, which actually makes sense. But at the same time, it makes you wonder like how many upgrades does the system necessarily need before you decide, okay, we're gonna make an entirely new handheld. When you look at this, it's kind of like one of those things like, yes, the new Nintendo 3DS has exclusive games, but right now the only exclusive game that I've heard of is Xenoblade Chronicles, and that's something I'm not even interested in. If you compare like shots of Xenoblade Chronicles on the 3DS to the original, which was on the Wii, you look at this port and you say, oh my god, it lost such quality in what it was, even though it wasn't necessarily the best looking game on the Wii. It looks even worse on the new Nintendo 3DS, and even with the faster processing speeds, there's no telling how well the frame rate or things like that will be. Anyway, is the new Nintendo 3DS worth it? Right now, no, I would not say that the new Nintendo 3DS is worth it, just because the only exclusive game that they have now is Xenoblade Chronicles. If they come out with a brand new game that is just like a system seller, like a new Mario or a new Zelda, things like that, then this would be more of a system that will actually be worth buying and would actually catch my attention and actually interest me into buying. I actually might think about buying a brand new Nintendo 3DS. Like I said before, I never bought the original, and so this actually looks like a good deal. For people who have the original 3DS, should you really worry about getting a brand new Nintendo 3DS? Oh man, I keep getting stuck like new Nintendo 3DS. That's a horrible name. But anyway, should you worry about getting a new Nintendo 3DS? Like I said before, no, don't worry about it, because the only game that has been announced is Xenoblade Chronicles, and things like Smash Bros, Super Mario 3D Land, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, those games work on your original 3DS, so I think you guys should be fine. Until they announce a big game for the new Nintendo 3DS, which is exclusive, don't even worry about upgrading. And those were just my opinions on the new Nintendo 3DS. If you like this episode, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright guys, peace.